Hello and welcome to this Football Manager 2018 experiment where we swap level 9 and the Premier League and we flip it all around. If you have not watched the first part, you must go and watch that first because there are so many things that need to be discussed, like how it's all done and stuff. So if you haven't already checked that out, then I suggest you go and check that out. If you have, then you know that we left off in 2022 and lots of things have happened. Arsenal have had a really good rise. They are currently going, I think, going into the... Yeah, they're just about to go into the Football League now. So they are going to be the first club back. Middlesbrough are also nearly on their way back there in League 2. But let's go and have a look at what happened in the first season. So that will be 2023, so our 6th season in total. So welcome back to the 6th Premier League season. Let's see what has gone on. Premier League. Newcastle Benfield once again have dominated. They have won the league for the 5th season in a row. Jarrah Roofing, Sunderland, RCA and North Shields all getting relegated. Now there is only 3 Champions League, Guysborough and Bishop Auckland, and then the 3 Europa League, Morpeth, Marsk and South Shields. As you can see, Rashford, Romelu Lukaku, Christian Eriksen, Granit Xhaka, Jack Grealish, Jordan Pickford. Has there been any big moves? So obviously Lukaku, Bellerin, Angel Gomez, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Alberto Moreno. So there's been some moves here. So more and more stars are starting to move from the big clubs, Manchester United, Chelsea, City, to the Premier League. So that's really interesting indeed. In the Championship, those are the promotions. Middlesbrough are in the Championship, so they will be probably the first Football League club back. Yeovil also getting promoted. They could also go up as well. How did Arsenal get on? And as you can see, domination, 45 wins, 1 draw, 0 defeats. They're coming up with Rotherham, so they'll be back soon. Manchester United and Blackburn getting promoted. This is starting to look a bit, you know, we've got Wolves, we've got Cardiff, we've got Charlton, Brentford, Ipswich. So there's a lot of sides that are in there now. Burnley and Aston Villa promoted in the north, and you know there is several Football League sides also in the north. In the south, Chelsea and QPR promoted. Not so many big sides in this, only Portsmouth. Manchester City getting promoted here with Preston, Watford and Brighton just missing out. In the south, as you can see, Southampton got promoted with Bristol City. Some big Football League clubs there, all the way down to about 8th. All of those are Football League. So they're really starting to filter up the leagues now. Bradford just missed out with Bury getting promoted through the playoffs, and Barnsley once again all the way down to 14th, and then we have 15th, 16th as well. So 15 huge Football League sides in the Northern Premier. Just go through these: Derby and West Ham, Doncaster and Shrewsbury, Blackpool and Morecambe, Telford and Gainesville. That's a very interesting league. Everton and Bournemouth, Swansea and Cambridge. So who is still left in the 9th tier? Liverpool have finally got promoted. They're out, leaving Stoke, Tottenham, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, West Brom. They're all still in it. Has there been anyone moved out? Not by the looks of it. No. So it's just Tottenham left in. Surely they will be promoted. Surely they will be promoted this time. I'm going to check the cups. Winners of the FA Cup were Newcastle Benfield. Winners of the Carabao Cup, Bishop's Auckland. Newcastle Benfield won the Community Shield. Arsenal won the Checkatrade Trophy. The FA Trophy was won by Chelsea, and the FA Vase was won by Newcastle. We shall check the Champions League. Obviously, this is something that there's not been any success really, but last season we did have the clubs that were starting just to be involved a little bit more. Bishop's Auckland finished bottom. Shildon finished third, so they went into the playoffs. Newcastle Benfield once again qualify out the group. That is fantastic. Newcastle Benfield lost to Barcelona. Barcelona lost to Juventus in the final. I mean, it's not the best, but when you look at it and see how well they did, it does take the shine off it just a little bit. You know, that they did get knocked out to a side that got to the final. Guysborough beat SJK from Finland. Look at that. Morpeth qualifying top of the group. That is really good. We should have 3 sides in here. Guysborough are out. Mask qualified. Then we have one side dropping out. Morpeth beat Fenerbahce. They are really starting to improve in Europe. But having said that, Mask are out. Can't see the other team. Shildon are out. I assume Mask have now gone out. Morpeth lost to Real Sociedad. How did they go on? They lost in the semi-finals to Inter, who lost to Bilbao. So we're starting to see progress. They're not going all the way, but they're starting to make progress, and that's really, really good in the league. As you can see, a lot more of these players are starting to play in the Premier League with these bigger sides. Apologies for the wind. I'll just quickly shut this. Right. But I was wondering if England's been producing any very talented players. That was my question. So I'm going to have a look. What the fuck's going on out there? I was going to see nationality English. Age will go up to about 23. The answer is yeah. Yeah, they're producing several good talents here. But, Ryan Perry came from Luton. He came from Manchester United. Does that mean that the clubs like Newcastle Benfield have not invested in their... No, they haven't at all, which is really, really disappointing. But they have been spending money. They spent 84 million on these players. That includes Harry Lewis, who is at Southampton. Dominic Iorfa, he was at Wolves. So let's go into Season 7 and see what impact that has made. Season 7. Season 7. Let's see what's happened. Newcastle Benfield once again. Oh, just 2 places now in the Champions League. One goes into the playoffs, one goes automatically in the group stage, and then we have 3 Europa League. So that has been chopped in half. And look at the prize money as well. So that's been really ripped apart as well since the start of the experiment. Newcastle Benfield once again. Oh my god, they spent over 100. Oh wait, no, that was out. He made over 100 million on this lad. Gory. Signed for 23 million. Jesus Christ, that is a hell of a profit. But I think now the money's starting to have a bit of an impact. As you can see, no money over 20 million was spent by any side. That is really, really... And this time, yeah, I didn't notice that. Didn't notice that at all. But we'll go into the Championship. Middlesbrough are back. Middlesbrough are back. Middlesbrough are going to be in the Premier League. How much have they spent? 12 million. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang on a free transfer for 35. But they will be challenging. It'll be interesting to see how well they get on with Newcastle Benfield being so dominant. Arsenal are in the Championship. They're going to be back soon. Can Newcastle Benfield hold those away? Manchester United have got promoted again. Chelsea, Charlton, Man City, look, they're promoted as well. Sheffield United, Southampton, all of these clubs are now on their way back. Everton, Leicester, Swansea, that hasn't finished yet. And then we have a few more, Fulham as well. Liverpool have got promoted. Once again, Grimsby. We're starting to see less and less bigger sides now. I think the big question is, have they been promoted? No, they haven't. Tottenham are still in the ninth tier. Newcastle beating them by 4 points. They scored 119 goals. Tottenham still haven't been promoted. I mean, it'll definitely happen next year. Who have they got? They've got Mitrovic, they've got John McGinn, Jack Wilshere, Nick Pope, Joe Bryan. But they still haven't been promoted. I don't think anyone else has got out. No. Newcastle Benfield win the FA Cup for the second time in a row. The Carabao Cup, Newcastle Benfield, they've completed the treble and won the Community Shield. Checker Trade Trophy was won by Manchester United. FA Trophy was won by Chelsea. FA Vase by Tottenham. We'll try the Champions League, just 2 places from now on, which is not good at all. Barcelona, the winners of that. Bishop Auckland got through that, but lost. So, how did the group stages go? We'll just have 2 sides to look for. Newcastle Benfield unbeaten in Group D, top of the league. Guysborough, they're out. I think Newcastle Benfield will be able to compete. When all of these sides come back, I still think they will be there. But they went out to Leverkusen. In the Europa League, South Shields got through that one. They lost. Was there anyone in the 4th qualifying round? No. Oh yes, Mask. That means we should have a couple. Bishop Auckland qualified. Mask qualified as well. That is good. It'd be interesting to see if Newcastle Benfield went out. Would they be able to cope in this Europa League? How far would they get in that? Bishop Auckland and Mask both won in the 1st qualifying round. Come on, one of you. No, both went out to Lazio and Sporting. Sporting won the thing. Lazio got to the semi-final. I wonder how England have been doing as a whole. So they have the European Championships. Not good. Didn't qualify in 2020. So they've not really been doing anything, have they? Not really been doing anything. Not good at all. Right. Middlesbrough in the Premier League. Arsenal are in the Championship. Manchester United are in League One. They will be back soon. Let's have a look. The main question is, have Middlesbrough won the Premier League? No! Middlesbrough finished mid-table and finished 12th. Not good. Newcastle Benfield win it for a 6th consecutive time. Bishop Auckland finished runners-up. Both of those in the Champions League. And then we have South Shields, Seaham and Whitley Bay. Stockton, Malden and Tiptree and Newton Aycliffe all getting relegated. 26 million was the most spent. And all are lower than that. Newcastle Benfield losing a few players here. Both two sides abroad, so maybe they're starting to really struggle to keep hold of their players now. How did I find the money? Has that gone down? I think it's 28 million, 26 million. Yeah, that's starting to go down. Arsenal have finished champions in the Championship. I don't think they'll win it the first year. Manchester United, they've been promoted. They're in the Championship. They're all starting to come back. Chelsea as well. City. Everton and Leicester. Brighton. Liverpool get promoted again. There's Bournemouth. So we're still seeing not as many. There are still like league teams still clambering to come back. Newcastle win it again. Have they done it? Have Tottenham finally gotten out? Here we go. Yes, they have. They have. So that leaves just Crystal Palace, West Brom and Stoke that at the beginning of the experiment were the Premier League sides. In the FA Cup, Newcastle Benfield in the Carabao Cup as well, doing the double treble. Incredible by them. Charlton won the Checkatrade Trophy. It's strange. It's usually, Manchester United bring it. FA Trophy was won by Man City. West Brom won the FA Vase. Let's check the Champions League. Just two sides in it now. We have a new holder. We have Dortmund. That's interesting. Right, so last season we had somebody come in, I think it was in the first qualifier. Bishop Auckland getting through that. Bishop Auckland getting through against Shakhtar. Absolutely brilliant. But how did they get on in this? Newcastle Brentfield qualified. Bishop Auckland finished bottom. Newcastle Brentfield lost to Barcelona. Barcelona lost in the semi-finals. We have 3 in the Euro Cup, or the Europa League. South Shields, they're through. South Shields got through. Guysborough got through. South Shields won their group. Guysborough also qualified. Should have another. Yeah, we do. Morpeth. I just saw Morpeth. They also qualified. So 3. Can one of them get deep into the competition? The answer is South Shields got through. South Shields lost them. That seems to be it. Second knockout stages, that's when they go out. I don't think we've had anyone go any further than that. How did England get on in the... See, the problem is these clubs that are now big, i.e. Newcastle Benfield, have crap junior coaching and youth recruitment. So they will not produce any good players. So that is why they're going to be struggling in years to come for England. Didn't think about that. But never mind. So I think that's everything. Next season, which would be the 8th season, I think, or the 9th season. Let's have a look. So, have Arsenal won the league? We shall see. No! They finished 3rd. Middlesbrough once again mid-table. Newcastle Benfield did not win the league. They lost it on the final day to Bishop Auckland. What I like, after all of this, Premier League still 6th. That's incredible. That's incredible. They're still 6th place. Interestingly, we've gained a Champions League spot and lost a Europa League spot, which I guess is good. Manchester United are back. Chelsea are on the way back. City are on the way back. Villa and Leicester, Liverpool won their group. Bournemouth and Fulham, West Ham are on their way back. So they're all starting to filter through now. Newcastle won their league. They're all starting to filter through. They're all starting to filter through. I don't think we've got many teams left. Tottenham got their promotion as well. Stoke won the league. So just West Brom and Crystal Palace. I think that must be an ambulance. We don't have any crime here. So that means none of these have. If you see your team, give me a shout. Man City and Arsenal in the final. So none of the sides we put through got through to the final. That's really interesting indeed. Whitley Bay won the Carabao Cup, so a real poor season for Newcastle. Benfield finishing trophyless. Besides that, Man City won the Checkatrade Trophy, Leeds won the FA Trophy, and West Brom won the FA Bars. I'm going to check the transfers. Maybe there's a little bit more money in, which is fantastic, which is what we want to see. Not lost anything. We'll check the Champions League as always. Barcelona win it again. No sign of anyone. Bishop Auckland. I think they're through. Right. Newcastle, Benfield win their group. Bishop Auckland go out into the Europa League. Come on, Benfield. No, they lost to fucking Roma. And Roma lost to Madrid. Madrid lost to Barcelona in the final. Still nothing on Europe. Still remains the sort of thing that they just can't get through. Whitley Bay got through that. That's absolutely fantastic. South Shields are through. They finished second to Hapoel Beersheva. Can I see any other? Whitley Bay, they also got through. And there was that team that... I thought there was another one. Oh, maybe there wasn't. Okay. Bishop Auckland have gone through. Whitley Bay went out. And South Shields went through. Bishop Auckland went through the second. So for the first time into the quarterfinals, they did lose to Gelsenkirchen, who got to the final and lost to Inter Milan. But that is an amazing achievement. Right. So the final part. This is the 10th season overall. I'm sure there will be another one coming up next Saturday, but let's see what happened in this one. Right. So we only have 2 sides left in the 9th tier. So that's something that we need to keep an eye on. Premier League. We have Manchester United. We have Arsenal. Newcastle Benfield win it again. Beating Arsenal, Bishop Auckland and Manchester United. Arsenal finished second, so they'll be in the Champions League again. Manchester United will be in the Europa League. Rotherham got relegated, so... that goes to see how strong some of these sides are. Transfer-wise, there's a bit more money being spent than before, I think, but not by much. Laporte rejoining the Premier League. Chelsea are back in the Premier League. City are in the Championship. Leicester won theirs. And then we have Liverpool and Southampton. Newcastle as well. West Ham and Watford, sorry. That is Tottenham, so they've won. They're all starting to slip through, which is why we're seeing less and less. I think we've only got one to check here. I think we've only got one that will be in here. But just for the sake of going through, which it is Stoke. Stoke are 128 points, absolutely phenomenal. West Brom have been promoted, but Billingham have more points than Crystal Palace, which is really interesting. Despite all of these signings, 105k and their big attendances, which I assume they still have. They're still at Selhurst Park. They finished third. If that happened next season, on the next episode, that would be an amazing, amazing thing. Because these sides have not been changed in any way. In fact, their whole history, they've been in there. And we'll see. FA Cup won by Bishop Auckland. Newcastle Benfield won the Carabao Cup. FA Trophy was won by Newcastle. FA Vase was won by Crystal Palace, beating Welwyn Garden City. Champions League then. Barcelona win it again. How many times have they won it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in the 10 years we've done so far. Still no sign of any of the English teams. Arsenal got through against PSV. I wonder how Arsenal's attendances are. We go back a few years. Still 60,000. That's incredible. Support has stayed loyal. Right, so we go into the group stages. Let's see how we did. Newcastle Benfield finished top of their group. A group that had Bilbao and Paris Saint-Germain. Bishop Auckland, they're in to the Europa League. Arsenal, they qualified as well. Newcastle Benfield are through. Arsenal are through. Newcastle Benfield are through again. And Arsenal are through. They both lost in the semi-finals. That's amazing. Newcastle Benfield have gotten to the semi-finals of the Champions League. I know who Newcastle Benfield are because my club has played in the 9th tier. But I don't think many people, if you're watching this experiment, you probably know who Newcastle Benfield are. But I don't think many people do. That's absolutely incredible. Newcastle Benfield get into the semi-final. Third, Shildon. Whitley Bay. I'm not sure how many teams we have here. Shildon. Whitley Bay. Group stages. Shildon win theirs. City. They won something. I think they won the FA Cup. Win theirs. And Whitley Bay, they qualify as well. Shildon go through. City go through. Whitley Bay go through. Shildon go through. Whitley Bay lost to Manchester City. Shildon go through. Shildon lose in the semi-final. But Newcastle Benfield in the semi-final. Shildon in the semi-final. That is really good. In the second round, Whitley Bay ended up drawing Manchester City. So that was a real difficult draw. But what a European experience that has been. Two sides getting into the semi-finals of both European competitions. They are starting to really make noises in Europe, which is absolutely fantastic. Before this experiment, I didn't think that any of them would be anywhere near. I think we've got to do another 5 years. We're going to do another 5 years. That'll be next Saturday at, in the morning, 9:30ish. But what that means is there are sides that will be able to compete with Arsenal, Manchester United, Manchester City. Which is what we wanted. I don't know how many. I assume that they sell out. Yeah, 20,000. That's awfully strange. They get more than their capacity. Oh, it's reduced. Are they building something? They're building a bigger stadium. They're doing an expansion. Newcastle, Benfield are the real success story of this experiment so far. Look at this. 8 Premier League titles, 3 FA Cups, 4 Carabao Cups, 4 Community Shields. Morelos is a club legend. Paid 25 million, received obviously 133 million, 19,263 grand. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. This is what the experiment was about. Newcastle, Benfield are a top tier English club. If we look, we have Bishop Auckland, and then they're the big one. They're the big one. So it's really good. It's really good. This is just what I wanted. Hopefully we can see more improvement in the next 5 years. If you are new, I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry for getting a bit excited, but it's really what I wanted. I really wanted to see sides really competing in Europe and really battling to keep their place in the Premier League. And that's what we're seeing. Rather than being relegated, that's a good sign. That's showing just how these sides have developed. Rather than, they comfortably went up and up and up. Only one season did they not, 2 seasons did they not go up. Both, one was outside the playoffs and one was in the playoffs. But they've really, really done well. So really, really, really happy with that. I am really looking forward to the next 5 years. Every Saturday, this is out. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. My name is Mike, and I will see you soon.